So what I'm doing here is starting off with just an oak board, and I'm cutting off the unusable part, the part that's kind of messed up on the end. And then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna cut it down to about 17 inches, just a rough dimension, not our final dimension, because I'm gonna end up cutting this into 2 pieces. But yeah, just a rough dimension to start, and then I'm gonna take it over to the table saw where I'm gonna set the fence to 4 inches, and then just rip it down on the table saw to that's final width. And then I'm back at the miter saw. I'm screwing in a stop block there, and that stop block is set at 8 inches away from the blade, and that makes me able to cut 2 8-inch boards that are perfectly equal to each other. And then here I'm marking the hole placement, and the hole placement I believe is ½ an inch from the end, all 4 holes, but the top 2 holes are 1 inch away from the sides, and the bottom 2 holes are 2 inches away from the sides, because originally my plan was to kind of angle the sides, to cut the sides in an angle so that they would have a kind of cleaner look, but that ended up not quite working out. And then so I mark the placement of the holes, and then I use an ice pick to just mark a little divot in the wood, and then so that way when I put the drill in the drill press and I start drilling, the bit's not going to wander. It's going to find that divot and then just drill in the exact spot that I want it, instead of it going all over the place. Now what you see me doing here is I got a 3/4 inch bit. I got it chucked up in the drill press, and I'm just drilling the holes right where I mark my ice pick. I put the center of the drill bit there, and it finds that, and then drills down real nice and easy to fit the 3/4 inch dowel that I got specifically for this project. And so you notice that the holes are really close to the edge. There is not that much room, and so that could have a tendency to blow out if I don't go really slow, and also move that little board that's under it around. And I'm moving that around so that there is no blowout or chip out on the bottom, because blowout could cause that little tiny piece, like I said, to just go flying, which is definitely not what we want. And now what you see me doing here is just sanding everything smooth, getting all the burn marks out of there best I can, and mainly just trying to make it smooth so that I can prep for staining and finishing. And I'm doing all that before I assemble it, because the way this thing is built, you'll see it at the end, is it would be very difficult. There's a lot of nooks and crannies. It would just be very difficult to stain and finish everything. So I'm going to stain and finish everything now and then assemble it, just to make everything easier on myself and save me a lot of frustration. And so right now, here's the staining. I like to use an acrylic paint brush and some dark red oak stain. I really like to stain and how it really pops on the oak, and it really brings out the grain, and I really like that. So what you see me doing here is just putting on a really heavy coat. I just put it on almost as heavy as I can get it, and then I walk away for about 5 minutes, give it a good chance to soak in, and then I come back with just a paper towel or rag. You can use whatever you want, and then wipe off the excess, because once you give it a chance to soak in, that excess will just cause it to end up being splotchy, and it'll just look bad. So just leave it and then come back with a paper towel like you see me doing right here and just wipe off all this excess stain, and you'll get a really clean look. And here I am. I got a little ahead of myself after the staining and finishing. I realized that I forgot to chamfer the pieces, which is what you see me doing here with a block paint. I'm just putting a little 45-degree angle on it. It feels much nicer in the hands, and it also looks better in person. And what I also forgot to do is mark and drill a hole so that the candle could fit in, and it just gives it a much better look overall than if it was just sitting on a flat board. So I mark it out, and then I punch it with the ice pick so that the drill bit doesn't wander. And then here you see me, I got a 2-inch drill chucked up in the drill press, and I have it on a stop so that it doesn't drill all the way through. It stops about halfway when it gets halfway through the wood. That leaves a nice little recess spot for the candle to fit in, and it looks really nice. You gotta go really slow with these big drill bits, otherwise you're gonna either end up burning the wood or the wood's gonna split on you. I've had that happen to me a few times, and it is not fun. And there you see how the candle's gonna look while it's in there. And here you see I'm assembling it. Since it's stained and finished already with some polyacrylic on top of it, wood glue would not work very well here. So I'm just using some Gorilla Glue and just pounding them in. The dowels are a tight fit. They don't need much glue. You really need just a tiny little drop, and then just pound it on in there, and then let the friction really just do the work for you. And yeah, that is how you get a very, very simple candle holder. These will sell well at a craft fair or on an Etsy shop. And there you go. Thank you for watching.